The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And a good afternoon to everyone. Dominic Carter here with you. The number to reach us live this hour, 800-848-9222. Before I get to the topics, I have to tell you folks, boy, did I have a great time this morning. Woodbridge, New Jersey at the Jewelry Exchange. What an establishment near Staten Island, not far from Staten Island, only about an hour removed from Midtown. I'd never seen a place like that, like a jewelry establishment. And yes, they're an advertiser, but folks, you listen to this program, you know I don't say things unless I mean them. And I received a nice tour from the owner, Leon, and his staff. And you name it, I saw it at the Jewelry Exchange. So many nice people, in-house full repair shop, all types of stuff in the operation, soup the nuts, if you will, start to finish. It was the real deal. And the owner has an electronic expo opening in December in Paramus. So I just say to the folks at the Jewelry Exchange in Woodbridge, New Jersey, I've never been there before, but I am coming back. Wow, it was great, folks. Really, really cool. So let's get to it. Schumer, Senator Schumer, the most popular, most unpopular he's ever been, amid calls for him to step down. A bruising new poll shows only 32% of New York State voters have a favorable view of the Senate Minority Leader, his lowest approval rating in 21 years of surveys conducted by Siena College. So good luck with that, Schumer. Mamdani wants to arrest Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu if Netanyahu steps a foot in New York City. It took me a few days to process this, but I'm thinking about it more and more and more. And I got you, Mamdani, with all the double talk. It's almost like Albert and Costello. Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know is on third. So at the debate, Mamdani says he's not focusing on international law. Now that he's the mayor-elect, he's focusing on international law. He wants to arrest Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu here in New York City. But the last time I checked, New York City is a local city within the federal government. The federal government controls the country. And yes, Giuliani wanted to arrest Arafat when Arafat was here, I believe, at the opera, but it never happened when Giuliani was the mayor. Mamdani, who's on first? What's on second? I don't know is on third. Again, listen to the mayor-elect talking about that he actually plans to carry out the arrest of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
You said you would arrest Benjamin Netanyahu based on the 2024 International Court arrest warrant. Next UN General Assembly, as mayor, would you do that?
So I've said time and again that I believe this is a city of international law, and being a city of international law means looking to uphold international law, and that means upholding the warrants from the International Criminal Court, whether they're for Benjamin Netanyahu or Vladimir Putin. I think that that's critically important to showcase our values, and unlike Donald Trump, I'm someone who looks to exist within the confines of the laws that we have. So I will look to exhaust every legal possibility, not to create my own laws to do so.
On the other hand, this is also a world event. Does that not count a little bit?
Well, I think we are a global city, but I also think what New Yorkers are looking for is consistency in the way in which we talk about our values and follow through on them. And that's why I think these warrants from the International Criminal Court, they are worth fully exploring every legal possibility to actually follow through on.
I'll say it again. Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know is on third. That's Mayor-elect Mamdani. During the debate, he said he's not focusing on international law. As mayor-elect, he wants to carry out international law. New York is an American city, not the federal government. But we have a mayor coming in that says he wants to arrest Netanyahu. Go figure. I want to focus for a second because I find this quite alarming. The mayor-elect has made his endorsements in some local races, and one of them is ringing the alarm bell terribly. We'll get to the Epstein files a bit later, But Mamdani just made his first endorsement, an endorsement of an Aber Kawas, who was a Palestinian activist who attended college here and earned a master's in Islamic liberation theology in Africa. Here is Kawas saying 9/11 was America's fault because of our, quote, system of capitalism, racism, white supremacy, and Islamophobia.
And finding that, the system of capitalism and racism and white supremacy, etc., and Islamophobia have all been used, to colonize lands, right, to take resources from other people. And so this is like a long trajectory. And we're just seeing the manifestations of that continuation, right, with 9/11. And so a lot of times when people are asking us to respond about, attack, right, if you look back, historically, right, a lot of us come from lands that were colonized, lands where wars are being waged, right, a lot of times because of U.S. policy or the policies in Europe. And so I find that we can connect over that, but then also that the idea that we have to apologize for a terror attack that a couple of people did, and then there is no apologies or reparations for genocides and for slavery, etc., is something that I kind of find reprehensible.
So at about 6 a.m. this morning, I couldn't believe what I was listening to. The fact that Mamdani, the mayor-elect, not candidate, the mayor-elect, has endorsed this young lady for a state assembly seat. He has actually endorsed her. And here she is on Muslim headwear for women.
I wear hijab, and that's obvious, and obviously that, targets me for a lot of different things, and I get discriminated against for a lot of different things. But I also have a lot of different parts of my identity that are hard to deal with, that I don't even get to talk about because all people want to talk about is the fact that I wear hijab.
And her father. So again, folks, think about this. The incoming mayor of New York City has endorsed this young lady for public office. And her father was deported for being an undocumented terrorist.
My father was detained and deported. I started to organize around immigration issues. When I was in college, I was in an MSA that was targeted. So when the NYPD reports came out about the NYPD spying and who they had targeted, my MSA was specifically mentioned in that. People I knew were in that report, and so that's when I started organizing around police reform when I was in college. And so I think the idea that I grew up in the community and I was impacted by things made me start to organize as a youth and got me interested.
So maybe this young lady is the female Mamdani coming along. We just don't know it yet. Again, Mayor-elect Mamdani, who's on first? What's on second? I don't know. Is on third? I don't know. I don't know, folks. Dominic Carter here with you, 800-848-9222. I want to continue right now before we start with your calls. We see all the calls coming in. I want to continue with the discussion I had the other night, the midnight program, about hair, specifically black hair, African-American hair. Dominic, why are you talking about hair? Because the former First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama, is yet again making this a racial issue, declaring that black people, particularly black women, do their hair to conform for white people. Huh? Go figure. I'm lost too. Listen to the former First Lady and an African-American young lady after her questioning the actions of Michelle Obama.
A lot of people want to know, well, what do braids mean? What does she mean? Look, y'all. What does she mean? That's what white folks are. It's what does that mean? What are you saying? We're saying nothing except I just don't want to have to do my hair every day. And I want to go swimming. I don't want to have to worry about it. Let me explain something to white people. Our hair comes out of our head naturally in a curly pattern. So when we're straightening it to follow your beauty standards, we are trapped by the straightness. That's why so many of us can't swim. and we run away from the water. People won't go to the gym because we're trying to keep our hair straight for y'all.
Michelle, respectfully, no one cares. No white person is obsessing over your hair and what you do with it. This is the race divide that is currently existing. Mind you, this is the prior First Lady of the United States, dividing America based on race. No one cares. Stop blaming white people for all of your problems, okay? This victimhood that you're creating, it's mind-boggling, truly. If you want your hair straight, then so be it. If you don't blame white people for having straight hair. The reason that people can't swim, maybe that's because there weren't enough fathers in the home. I don't know. You're blaming a perm as the reason that black people don't go to the gym. No, maybe because it's laziness. This lack of accountability is just beyond me, truly. Just take responsibility. If you want straight hair, then have straight hair. You're a grown adult woman. But to sit here and say, dear white people, you're the reason for my problems, your hair? What are you talking about? You have time and money. You're on a book tour. If you want natural hair to go swimming and go to the gym, then wear your natural hair that the Lord gave you. But don't sit here and say, white people, stop asking us questions. Maybe people are asking questions because they're genuinely curious. Stop taking offense when someone asks a question and they don't know the answer. You're perpetuating the reason that a lot of white people don't even go up to black people and compliment them because they're going to get judged. I've never seen people more obsessed with race than liberals. White people don't even have naturally straight hair, all of them. Many of them have curly hair. Many of them have wavy hair. And why only white people? There's Asian, there's Native American, there's so many other races. Why are you picking out white people? Stop creating this racial divide.
I couldn't have said it better than what that African American young lady just did to the former First Lady at her video, Michelle Obama. And we had this discussion the other night. It turned out to be a heated one, with arguments on each side of this issue. We're going to start with your telephone calls right now. A number of topics we're dealing with. The House has also passed the bill to release the Epstein files. It goes now to the Senate. The number to reach me live, and every line is lit up, so just hit read down a few seconds. 800-848-9222. Let's start with Mike, line 4, Orange County. Mike, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic.
Go, Mike,
can't believe
go
this
ahead.
Mamdani guy.
Go ahead.
I can't believe this Mamdani talking about international law. I mean, I thought we're in New York State, and New York State law applies. Where's he get off?
You're correct, Mike. New York State, New York City law, but who's on first, what's on second, I don't know, is on third. This is Mayor-elect Mamdani. This is his world now, Mike, and we just live in it. I got to toss to a break, Mike. Thank you for the wonderful call. Time for a break. We are coming right back.
If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy. Download and subscribe at BeBullish.com.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And I am looking at my Twitter at my ex, Jackie BR says, Dominic TV, sharp as always, Dominic. I have heard that term. I guess she's talking about Mamdani here. She says that term international law used over the past few months. It makes you think, what is this brand of international law, and how does this separate sets of laws? How does this separate set of laws, apply in New York exactly? Sounds shady. No kidding. Debbie Lebedo says about Michelle Obama and black hair. Dominic, what is Michelle Obama talking about? White women hair. Asians have straight black hair. Egyptians have straight hair. Indian Americans have straight hair. What are you talking about? White women, Michelle. This must be about the husband and his friend. No, you didn't, Debbie. Debbie went there. Ooh, Debbie went there. Ooh, she went there.
Got what I need, but you say he's just a friend.
Ooh.
You say he's just a friend. Oh, baby, you.
Ooh. I don't know, former First Lady Michelle Obama. Maybe this is about Barack. I don't know. Maybe Barack and a certain Hollywood A-list actress I don't know. The room. Maybe this is why maybe this is why Michelle Obama is so upset and angry. I don't know, folks. Let's go to Bill, line 4 in Morristown, New Jersey. Bill, what's on your mind?
All right, Big Dom, didn't speak to you in a while. I love you. I just want to get it out quick. Whether the afro became a political or cultural statement in the 60s, the hairstyle, that I don't know. I was born in the 60s. I don't know. I would say probably black people started rejecting a lot of the pressure to assimilate into white society, including beauty standards. That's possible. But here's what I do know. I do know that the hot iron or the curling iron or whatever was invented 1870s, 80s during white democratic Reconstruction Jim Crow era. And I do know that whites were even pressured during that time to straighten their hair, to be more accepted into society. I assume that also encompassed blacks, but that doesn't mean it's society. That means it's a private business owner like me who's a racist. It's not judicial, it's not legal. That's all I know about this. I'm not a social scientist, but I'm a political scientist. I call you now and then. That's all I know. I just wanted to throw that out there.
What do you make of the former First Lady making this argument?
Dom, I've said this to you in the past. I think this is simply the Mao Zedong cultural revolution here in America. In Russia, in China, in Europe, historically, it's always been economic. Here, the Civil War, the cultural revolution is over race. And probably it's going to be over religion at some point, too. That's just what I think. I can't say I'm right about that.
Fair enough, Bill in Morristown. Thank you for the call, folks. We see all your calls. I've got to take a break. When we come back, former Congressman Peter King is going to join me. We have a lot to talk about with him, and then we're going right back to your telephone calls. Oh, I have one more minute. Oh, that's why you're freaking out in the control room. I'm so used to you guys screaming at me that I've got to go to a national break, a national commercial. You're going over. You're going too long with the callers. You're too long with the callers. We can sing. No, I'm told don't sing. Oh, Michelle Obama. Oh. Folks, you should have seen Carlos in here. I'm like, why is he jumping up, screaming at me? I can't hear him. He's on the other side of the glass. And because I came in a minute early, I'm so used to them screaming at me every day. Dominic, you take too much time with the callers. Toss to the national break. Toss to the national break. So enough with the rap. Michelle Obama, leave the topic alone of hair. Just sit down and say, Barack, we can work this out, boo. Me and you. We can work this out. We're coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And we are back. We're going to go back to your telephone calls. But first, I look forward to this, our chat with former Congressman Peter King. Congressman, how are you? How's everything going?
I'm doing great. Everything's terrific. And before you ask, my wife Rosemary is also doing fine.
Oh, fantastic. I haven't seen you and her. Well, I've seen you, but I haven't seen her in a while to say hello. So please send my regards and tell her and the rest of your family we wish all of you well. So, Congressman, let's start with the news of the minute. Literally, if you will, the House has passed the bill to release the Epstein files. Now, I want your take on this because to me, what this is the Democrats can't beat Trump at anything. They've become the party of no. So they're praying that there's something in these files that may slow his momentum. What's your take?
Yeah, first of all, there's absolutely no reason at all to think there's anything in the files at all that in any way would implicate Donald Trump. First of all, there was never, all the years and all the gossip and all the rumors about Donald Trump, there was never a word about him having any improper dealings with Epstein whatsoever. That was not part of his world. Fortunately or unfortunately, there were many Democrats involved. I'm not saying they're guilty of anything, but they were the ones that were in his social circle. Secondly, I think, though, this is where President Trump and some of the Republicans made a mistake in building this up in the first place, saying that they were going to uncover all this corruption involving Epstein. And to me, it was more of a campaign ploy they were using, but now it's come back to bite them. I mean, if there was anything to this, the Biden administration had all of these records for 4 years, and they were going after Donald Trump on every possible issue that they can imagine. If there was anything at all, the slightest thing in tying Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein's activities, it would have been leaked and put out everywhere. So I'm sure there's nothing there. In fact, I'm 99% certain. And I do have a concern about all these records being made public. I'm not talking about protecting the guilty. I'm talking about when investigations are conducted, they get all sorts of information, rumors, gossip, lies, all put in there. And then the prosecutors determine what's real and what's not, but everything stays in the file. So we could have all sorts of allegations in there about other people. I'm not talking about President Trump. I'm talking about if somebody had a grievance against someone, they're mad at somebody, and they say, I saw Epstein doing this, or I saw somebody doing that. So there could be a lot of really salacious, false rumors in there. And also it could be that you had people on the inside who knew Epstein cooperating with the federal government under the promise that it wouldn't all be made public. So I have no concern about anything coming out of President Trump. I'm sure there's nothing there, but it's a bad precedent to set to be releasing all sorts of records, grand jury records, investigatory records, and everything else. But again, Democrats are desperate. They're going with this. And I love the way the media is making heroes and rock stars out of people like Marjorie Taylor Greene or Tom Massey, who they wouldn't give the right time to 6 months ago.
Isn't that very interesting? And you're correct. Marjorie Taylor Greene, the press would have nothing to do with her, but now they're in love with her because she's become a Trump critic. Let's switch to Mayor-elect Mamdani. What does it say, Congressman, that, it didn't hit me until about 6 a.m. this morning. His first endorsement for a local race for assembly, and he's endorsed a Palestinian young lady who blames America for 9/11. Her father was deported for being an undocumented terrorist. This is who Mamdani has openly endorsed, and he's talking of arresting Netanyahu, which clearly he does not have the power to do. I mean, do you think he'll really try and do something like that?
He may as a stunt, knowing it's not going to happen, but he could, to really endear himself even further to the radical left wing, the progressive wing, the socialist wing, some could say the communist wing, but certainly not the pro-American wing of the party. This is even of our society. This is definitely anti-American at its root. It's anti-Semitic, of course. But it's primarily, even more so than that, it's anti-American. And why people don't see that, this isn't just having a political disagreement, like, should we have tariffs or not have tariffs? Should we raise taxes on this group and not on that group? That's all part of a legitimate political debate. But to be in any way endorsing someone who has any connection or any apologies for 9/11, somehow saying that it really somehow was America's fault, that it wasn't Islamist terrorists that did it. And so in any way, I don't think of all the New Yorkers who were killed, all the Americans who were killed. So to me, this shows where his true sympathies lie. He is not at all pro-American. He's anti-American, anti-Semitic. And the fact that he constantly is dwelling about Netanyahu, I mean, this is, and you think of all of the criminals from some of these Islamic groups that come over here. The fact is that, anyway, I'm really going on about this because it's so aggravating to me that a person like this has been elected mayor and people are going to be showing him some sort of respect he doesn't deserve. And I just say, what is he going to do next year at the 25th anniversary of 9/11?
It's going to be very, very interesting. Would you like to be a fly on the wall, Congressman, for the meeting at the White House between President Trump and Mr. Mamdani?
Yeah, they should charge admission to that if they could. I mean, put it on pay TV or closed circuit TV, whatever the term is these days, Netflix, somewhere. That's going to be some encounter, between the two of them, and we'll see how tough Mamdani is when he's actually in the Oval Office with the president. Because whatever they say, I'm sure he'll come out and have his own spin on it. But I think the president is doing the right thing in meeting him. He's, to me, it's a strictly business meeting. He is the mayor of the city of New York, and it's important that they meet, just like you meet with even foreign enemies. but I would almost put him in that category.
Do you think President Trump will tell him in that meeting what time it is?
I would hope so. That's about it. No, I mean, I think really he should tell him that this has to end. There has to be cooperation with ICE. There has to be cooperation with federal law enforcement, and we have to do all we can to be monitoring the activities of terrorists in the United States. And also that if he's going to be coming up with policies that are going to end up costing the federal government money or issues or whatever, that he can't expect to continue to be getting federal aid from the federal government to New York City. This is President Trump will have to really lay down the law to him, I think, on this.
I close with this, Congressman King. I do have one quick follow-up after this, but poll out that's not good for Senate Minority Leader Charles Schumer at his all-time low in 21 years of taking the poll on him. I think he's at 31%. And in the race for governor, Governor Hochul has a 20-point lead over Elise Stefanik, but I feel that already Stefanik has the momentum in this race and that there's a strong possibility that Governor Hochul is going down. What does Peter King say?
I would look as far as Hochul's number, the main number I would look at is 52%, which means she's only 2 over a majority. She's the one who's in office. She's the one who has all the money. She's the one who's the incumbent. So I would say that we were always told in politics, when they do polls, if you're the challenger, whatever your opponent doesn't get, you're going to get. You have to assume that. Because everyone knows who the challenger is. After all these years, only 52% of the people are willing to say they support her, then I would say that that other 48 is right now very vulnerable to the Republican, available to the Republican nominee, whether it's Elise Stefanik or Bruce Blakeman, who I think would also be a very strong candidate.
He'd be an excellent candidate.
Doesn't matter which one it is, this is going to be a competitive race. I mean, this is, when she ran against Elise Ellen, she got 52%. So her numbers haven't gone up since then. Her record has gotten worse. So I think a really solid opponent can rip her record apart and bring that 52 down below 50.
Finally, Congressman Peter King, what story are you watching that's not in the headlines right now? Because you give me excellent insight to what I should be looking at.
I would say, well, it's sort of in the headlines, but it's not. And that's whether not Jessica Tisch stays on as police commissioner.
And what do you think is going to happen?
I would say no. I mean, in some ways, she'd be an excellent commissioner. On the other hand, you would hate to see her trying to be used by Mandami. She wouldn't allow herself to be used, but it could cause even more friction within the police department. So I don't know. It's a tough spot. She's an excellent commissioner, a great commissioner, but I have absolutely no faith at all in the good intentions of Mandami. I think anyone he's going to put in positions, he wants to use them to advance his socialist, left-wing, progressive, anti-Semitic, anti-American agenda.
Congressman Peter King, always a great honor to chat with you. I look forward to talking to you soon. Thank you.
Great, you got it. Bye-bye.
Thank you. So now let's go back to your telephone calls, folks. 800-848-9222. Line 1, George, Rockland County, New York. What's on your mind, George?
All right. So, Dominic, okay, I think you're kind of missing some of the stories from Dominic. My point is here, it is not socialism what he's all about. It's Islam, okay? He want to be like the mayor of London, okay, which is an Islamist, okay? Sadiq Khan here. I don't know if you know about the Britons are escaping this city, okay, because what's going on there, because all this Islamic police that checking how modesty people are. This is the problem here, okay? Also, on top of this, okay, he's a Shiite. Many people don't understand. Shiite is Iran.
All right, George, you're getting a little too deep right now. Let's just keep this very simple. You're telling me he's not a socialist with his policies that are by the book defined as a socialist?
Exactly, okay. He's using socialism as a cover. The true thing about him, listen to his immigration.
Okay, so wait. So what's the true thing about him? You got to be quick, George. What's the true thing about him? Get to the point.
I just said now, okay. He wants to change this country, this way of thinking in the city here, to the way the Islam, the Sharia is going about, okay? This is his main thing. That's why he was telling all these people in his immigration speech of here, I'm an immigrant, You're immigrant. This is city of immigrant, okay? No talking about anybody else here. This is all come from Islam. This is all, just check England.
You said that. Okay, thank you. We are aware of the mayor in England who is a socialist. Let's go to Judith, line 4 in Brooklyn. What's on your mind, Judith?
Hi, Dominic. Listen, first of all, I want to tell Mandami, you need to stay in your lane, sir. Worry about the safety of New Yorkers, okay? Worry about the collecting of the garbage, all right? And I want to tell you something. This Mr. Hypocrite Mandami, why don't you go file a complaint with the hypocritical International Criminal Court against China's chief, who has basically pushed the Muslims, he keeps saying he's a Muslim, into concentration camps and killing them. It's a known fact for a while, whatever. No one does anything about it. And while you're at it, Mandami, why don't you see that the ICC goes after China regarding the release of this plague that killed millions worldwide, where he allowed 23,000 flights out of Wuhan. He locked down all of China because he knew exactly what he was doing, and he sent out 23,000 flights to basically kill millions of people. So, Mandami, why don't you go after International Criminal Court, and why don't you file a complaint over there? Hello? Start over there.
Because it doesn't go with his agenda, Judith. You know why. Thank you for the great call, Judith in Brooklyn. Let's go to Rich, line 1 in Pennsylvania. Rich, what's on your mind this afternoon?
Thanks, Dominic. If Michelle Obama would spend a little more time with the clerks and the tellers at the bank and not the owners of the bank, she wouldn't have such egocentric apprehensions. She has just demonstrated how detached she is from the American people and especially the black community. The girl on the street that's trying to make rent, trying to feed her kids, the last thing she's worried about is if her hair is straight or not.
You're right about that, Rich. I don't even know what to say about this issue. I don't know why the former First Lady brought it up. It's divisive. It's not going to bring us together. It's pitting white people in one corner. It's pitting black women. It's angry. I don't understand. Do you see a point in this, Rich?
No, there is no point to it. She is simply speaking from her own orbit. This is her world with millionaires and billionaires. She's completely detached from what's happening in black American culture. These are not their concerns. These are not their worries.
Without, I don't have any personal information, but this seems like it's more a reflection of her marriage. I mean, we've all seen the headlines about what's going on with the Obama marriage. And I'm just going to leave it at that. But what A-list celebrity that the former president has been attached to, and we're just going to leave it at that. So I don't know if she's striking out at white women. I'm going to leave it alone. Let's just leave it alone. Time for a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation final thoughts, and I guess I'm going to be sleeping right next to Beyonce's kitty litter box, my cat Beyonce, when I say this, and perhaps it's too much information, but folks, in my own household, I often bounce topics off to see what the left thinks. In my own household, I was told I don't see anything wrong with what Michelle Obama said. And I'm like, huh? I don't get it. To show you how polarized we are as a country, I told you I was supposed to go down to Tampa, Florida this past weekend, but thank you very much, Democrats, in the House and in the Senate, that the flights were so shaky, with the air traffic controllers, I couldn't risk not making it back, on Monday. So I didn't make the trip. And so we were going down for a birthday for a little girl, family member. We watched her grow up. Folks, to show you how polarized we are as a country. So I wanted to put a few $100s in Tesla stock for the young lady, right, for the little girl. And then every birthday, put a few more $100 and just let it grow through the years. Don't you know I was told no simply because it's Tesla and who runs Tesla? So, okay, take the little bit of money, do whatever you want. I'll never bring this subject up again. Let's go to Sandra, line 3, New Jersey. What's on your mind, Sandra?
Well, I was wondering, you had apprehension last night about your meeting this morning in Woodbridge, and I thought maybe you were going to see something not pleasant, and I thought maybe something related to October 7th. Was that
No. When I leave here, I'm headed to a screening for the HBO program on Max about October 7th, and that's what I have the apprehension about, because I don't want to go there. I'm already exhausted, Sandra, for the day, and I don't want to go there and leave angry based on what I have a strong feeling I'm about to see. It's called October 7th. A day in October. That's what it's called.
Oh, that's it. That's what I was going to tell. Well, what I was going to talk about is one day in October. Dominic, you have to see it, and everybody should see it. It's 7 different stories, and that's why they get 7. Right. And Dominic, look, I saw it, and then after that, Cooper Anderson brings you there live after what happened. This is something we all have to see, and I'm glad you're going to see it. And don't be frightened to see it, but know the torture that these people face, and they're going to show you many different angles of what happened, and I want everyone to see it. You can see it on Prime, Amazon Prime, one day in October.
Right, but Sandra, they're going to have a victim there that we can talk to. I try not, Sandra. This sounds selfish, but I try not to think about it. I try not to think about the fact that women were intentionally raped with the goal of getting them pregnant, so they'd have to make a choice of having an abortion or having a devil child from one of these savages that intentionally got them pregnant. It's just an awful feeling, people that were killed, murdered, and so on. And I don't know if I can really handle that. So, but go ahead, Sandra.
Well, if I can handle it, Dominic, you can handle it. I handled it. And I want to say that Netanyahu, when you see this, and this is it's even worse than what you're going to see, Netanyahu has a right to have vengeance and anger and go after Hamas for what he did to these innocent people. I'm so glad you're going to go see it. I want a report from you, Dominic, on this story, okay? 7 different stories.
Well, Sandra, thank you. Thank you so much for the call. Sandra in New Jersey. Let's see here. Let's go to Robert in Brooklyn, line 4. What's on your mind, Robert?
Well, thanks for taking my call. Besides Trump derangement syndrome, there's something called Israel derangement syndrome. And besides Democrats like Mamdani, there are also Republicans, so-called Republicans like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who, besides having Trump derangement syndrome, Israel derangement syndrome. This woman seems to be obsessed about backstabbing Trump and obsessing about Israel. And I'm glad that Donald Trump made these postings against Marjorie Taylor Greene. He withdrew his endorsement of her. And it's not just Marjorie Taylor Greene. You got Miss Thomas Massey, Tucker Carlson.
Right. I hear you, Robert. Thank you, folks. All it takes is $11 a month. Donate $11 a month to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation at T2T.org. I'm back at midnight.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder,
what the heck is going on here?
If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy.
Download and subscribe
at BeBullish.com.